This is Neil King from Random Acts of Cartooning, and I'm in Arizona to do some plein air sketching. But first...
Okay, for this episode, I'm going to look at the Geof Darrow's the Shaolin Cowboy. And this is, he's done a lot of different works, Geof Darrow, and I have already shown one in one of my videos. But I'm very interested in this specific one. Obviously, he does this most beautiful, amazing, all types of monsters and things like this that are so unbelievable. But what I'm really also focusing in on is going to be all of these landscapes. So they are beautiful. And I always think that any artist who does something like this is working from some reference. And if you know his work, super realism, but he also, and he's super violent too, but he does these types of spreads that it's just a beautiful thing to see. And he deals with thick and thin lines, and the colorists are going on, and they're using that subtlety of color to really pop some of these images. So again, there's going to be lots of incredible images here. But it reminds me of Arizona and most probably different parts of the West or a different deserty area. But being able to make something interesting in a graphic novel like this is really what it's all about, and using reference and getting outside and drawing. So I look at all these types of things that he's doing, and he's just so into all the violence. So you got to be ready when you get this book with the violent stuff. But there are multiple images like this that draw you in with all the natural images that he most probably travels to, or not longs to, or if not. But I love the way he kind of pulls you in on some of the pages and gives you a sense of the landscape. Different terrain with this one. It's beautiful color. Look at all the detail in those creatures, as much in the landscape as there are in the creatures. So nice. And he's just kind of like this amazing talent, and he's just does his thing. These stories are meandering. They go through all these things, but they have some crazy images. They're just beautiful in every way. But it's somebody who is not afraid to do backgrounds, to kind of make them work with all of his images. And if you haven't bought anything like this, it's just a beautiful book. Oversized. Geof Darrow, he's like one of the masters.
Okay, so on this vacation, we went to different places in Arizona, and this is Flagstaff. I did a quick images of some cliff dwellings in Flagstaff, right? Really beautiful area. Really interesting stuff to be able to do. And then we went over to the Grand Canyon, which is a typical place that people go when they go to visit Arizona. It is very difficult to make anyone understand what it looks like to go to see something like this. So for me to just draw something, picking out something is hard because there's so much to draw. And I really do love drawing rocks and wildlife, trees, skulls. Like those are the kind of things I'd love to draw. So here in the Grand Canyon, the South Rim, there's a lot to do, and for you to be able to understand those images, I tried to do a lot of hatching. I tried to make a lot of marks in here because you almost feel like you're scribbling, because there's so much to see and do that you just got to pull back and decide, like, what are the areas that I'm going to focus on, because I really can't draw everything. So this is kind of how this one turned out, where a lot of hatching just to kind of get your sense of things going back. And then there were people who went up on that area, so I always think it's good for proportions and scale. And then again, like here we are. This was the Ooh-Ah Point at the Grand Canyon, and lots of people hiking. We went down into the canyon, and it's just crazy. And imagine, I'm just a cartoonist, and I love to show this kind of stuff, but I am also deep into trying to find the part where I can bring something to the image. So you can see when you're looking around, there's just so much to see, and there's so much to think about what you want to kind of accomplish if you're going to do a sketch. But here I love these stairs and how they worked against the landscape. It's just impressive stuff, and to me, especially different times of the day, you get all those cast shadows, and lots of interesting people around. You're meeting all kinds of people. They're all coming from all over the country. This was in January of 2025. So again, I just try to get in there and focus on how to show those steps, and using some of the shadow to make it pop out there. Lots of walls on there, but again, it comes down to the hatching that makes any of this kind of seem like something's going off in front of something else. I don't have any watercolors with me for this trip. This is kind of how this one turned out. And again, I put a little bits of people around another big cliff that was close by, all hatching. And again, when you come to these kind of places, the Horseshoe Bend, again, this image isn't really doing it justice, right? So you just have so much to look at. But I really like this image of all these people just, they're taking selfies of themselves, and, but the area that they're on is such an interesting rock formation. And they've built a lookout there, and people are just right there. I think it's so interesting. They look like shells and all this, red stone. It's so amazing to be able to look at something like this. Again, this is kind of what I came through with that one. And this is in Page, Arizona, and this is the wave trail. You can see how everything kind of looks like waves. Really another just amazing little walk that you can take over there and see all the different things that are there. And I just stood back and I just tried to get a part of it. Right? This is another one that I eventually put on, used a sketch of. And one of my friends, Kelly, she was just standing on it at one point, so I put her on there to show the proportions of everything. Remember, everyone, I am a working cartoonist, so make sure that you're using the links to some of the different stuff that I am selling. These are convention sketches, and I will be doing, and I'm always doing conventions, so if you ever see me out there, or I also do commissions. But here's some of my adult books, graphic novels. I do kid stuff too. But take a look on my Amazon store, and these are all for sale. And like I say, I do a certain amount of commission work, so if you're interested in some of the things that I've been posting, it's all there. Support me. Like and subscribe, of course, as always. Okay, here we are in Sedona, and at the Cathedral Rock. It's a pretty spectacular trail also that you can go walk around there. So there's just so much happening. You can look at what's all around me. I would like to draw all of those things that I see. But I had to focus in on something, and I thought I should just get the main part of the cathedral. Looks like a big cathedral as you see it compared, each one of the separate parts of the rock. And so you can see that time of a day, sun's coming off to the right, heavy cast shadows. It's just a spectacular place. It's so great to be able to take a sketchbook and to bring it around and try to, just all this mark making, just to make this kind of a feeling of space and how things relate to each other. And it's very important for me as an artist to be doing this kind of stuff to remind myself that when I use it for my comics and illustrations, that what I'm seeing in this area and how to apply it to so many things. Just an amazing place. That's how that one turned out. Had my wife standing up on that hill. Again, proportions. So I put these all together. I thought I'd show all of them from the sketchbook. This is the last day that I was there in Sedona. In Arizona, we were off to Phoenix to leave. And so this is the sketchbook as it continues. I do really try to put down where we are and some of the things that will remind us of this trip. I'm sure we will definitely go back. And this one was a quick trip. So next time maybe we'll focus on maybe 1 or 2 places instead of we were in 4 different places. It's a lot to do in just a few days. But I think in the end, it really was a lot of fun, and my love of drawing rocks continues. But it shows for anybody who's a cartoonist or an illustrator that go out and draw outside. Remind yourself what it's all about when you learn to do this type of work. So thanks for watching again. See you soon, and get outside and draw.